Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism. We're going to take on an Am I the Asshole? So, this one is, Am I the Asshole for evicting my roommate? Sounds sort of doomy and scary. So, this person says, I live in a small condo, about 600 square feet, with a roommate. We didn't know each other before moving in. She rents the bigger room and I rent the smaller one. She's 2 bedrooms and 600 square feet, so it's pretty small. Our landlord told us she wants to sell the condo, and I jumped in on the opportunity to buy it. She sold it to me almost 15% below market price, so it's great. I already gave her the deposit, and we will sign the papers in a few days. Then the condo will be mine 3 months from now. After me giving our landlord the deposit, Caitlin was ecstatic. She brought champagne to celebrate, told me I'm the best, and she will save so much money from now on by not having to pay rent. I don't know where she got this from, and I thought our landlord already told her how long she has until she has to move out, but it seems not. I told roommate that it's a small condo and I don't need a roommate anymore. She will have to move out in 3 months, but I'd gladly help her look for a new place. That's fair. She flipped out. She asked me if I seriously want to evict her and throw her out on the street. She said she thought we were friends, and if she had the money to buy the place, she would have let me stay for free because that's what decent people do. That's an interesting promise. Then she switched and started bargaining with me that I can have the bigger room and she will stay in the small room. She won't bother much and so on. Oh my, I feel a bit guilty. I really thought it was given that she will have to move out. Maybe I should have told roommate before giving the deposit to our landlord. I feel sorry for her. I know she doesn't make a lot of money, but at 26, I don't want to live in a small room anymore, especially if I own the condo. Then the person breaks down a couple of things related to legal issues. There's no such thing as a lease continuing with the new owner. I can't evict because I'm not the new owner. I'm not the one she has a contract with. Her lease is with the current landlord, and that landlord has to give this roommate a written notification, which seems like she hasn't done yet. Okay, so much here. Entitlement's a real problem in this world. I don't know. Like, listen, it is so easy for me to sit here like the old lady I am and say, oh, these young people are so entitled. These people are in their 20s. I mean, let's face it, 50, 60, 70s, 110 people are entitled. It's nothing to do with age. There's so much here, right? I read this and I was like, what? So good for this person who decides to jump on the chance to buy the condo and under market, which is really unusual these days. This poor person, and this is where it gets so interesting. We don't know anything more about the story than we are seeing here, but you do wonder, were there red flags? Someone this entitled, you'd have to believe other red flags showed up, right? Something had to show up. And also this roommate is really victimized, you know, like, well, if anyone ever says, well, if this happened to me, then I'd give you that. No, you wouldn't. And so it's interesting to see sort of, okay, roommate ecstatic. You'd like to think they're happy for you. Okay. Buys the champagne. And then the entitlement that I won't pay you rent. Now, I understand at 26, you may not understand the vagaries of any form of home ownership, even if it's a small condo. Because once you own a place, it's not like the convenience of rent. You pay the rent, and the landlord, who's the one paying the homeowner association dues, perhaps utilities that they may not be paying, the maintenance. Now, if the air conditioning breaks, there's no landlord to call. You've got to pay it. So the idea that this roommate thought that they could just stay there as a long-term guest in the larger bedroom. The roommate's like, hey, oh, okay, well, I'll also give you the larger bedroom. That level of entitlement, it enrages me. I have to tell you, of all the things about narcissism I dislike the most, the entitlement may be the thing that really gets my gourd the most, right? So this person says, now, part of the problem here is also their landlord is slipshod, but that's irrelevant. I'm not going to blame the landlord, right? That this person, this roommate, seems to think that, I mean, that, oh, you've bought the place, so now I could stay rent-free. That was never a conversation. That you wouldn't say, you bought the place, so do you want, can I stay? Can I not? That would be its own uncomfortable conversation, right? That you'd have to get into this new lease and blah, blah, blah. But that this person presumed that they would stay in the larger bedroom for free, this roommate is going to have a whole world of hurt, right? So, of course, the roommate flipped out. You would expect, and again, I don't know if the roommate's fully narcissistic. We know this person's brutally entitled. Flipped out, so now maybe potentially even somewhat dysregulated. Victimized. You really want to evict me and throw me out on the street? Manipulative. She said she thought we were friends. And that she could let her stay for free because that's what decent people do. That's a manipulation. And then actually so manipulative to say, oh, I'll let you stay in the large room. That's the part that also completely gets me. What's heartbreaking is that this person who's writing this particular question or comment, whatever, feels guilty. Feels sorry. That's the trauma bond talking, right? I think it's universal that I kind of feel bad, like I had the good fortune, now I'm the one buying it. And I understand, because that's the empathy of the person who bought the condo, right? There is some empathy there. I feel bad. And we can feel bad, but still also say, maybe give a person more months. Say, listen, I bought the place. And can tell you right now, I'm clearing out. I'm going to go stay someplace temporary to redo it or whatever. You make up a story, but to say, obviously this, and this are going to happen. That this person thought this, like I said, the roommate is going to have a whole world of hurt ahead of them. Because if they keep bringing this game into their lives, everything should be for me. I should be able to get away with this. Like, you'd never want to hire someone like this roommate, right? So, but what is concerning to me is how much that this person sort of feels as though they feel guilty, they feel sorry. This is how narcissistic relationships, how toxic relationships gel. The pity. The pity when it's going better. So when we look at any kind of toxic relationship, when you're doing better than them, when you're no longer sort of at an equal level or you start to get above them if they were once above you, when that happens, empathic people often feel guilty, like, oh, because a person who's entitled can't tolerate that someone else is having a better run, right? And so that experience, that it's fascinating to see that empathic people say, oh, I kind of feel bad for them. Maybe I should help them out. To me, this represents one of the hardest parts of sort of negotiating our way through toxic relationships. Because there's a point when we have to set down a boundary, like saying, yo, you have to get the hell out of this place. That feels incredibly uncomfortable. Now, I hope to goodness sake that this poor person who bought this condo is not about to get into some long drawn out saga around eviction procedures and all of that. It really is the responsibility of the landlord to start those procedures. And likely what's going to happen is that the entitled roommate will go off into the future and forever view this person as having done wrong by them and they were victimized and blah, blah, blah. Entitlement's real, folks, and it can really show up in roommate situations. In fact, this was my reminder because I've gotten emails about this, about doing some roommate narcissism videos. Stay tuned because they're coming. Because like I said, I've gotten some emails about this. Do not underestimate the harm that can come from having a toxic, entitled, or narcissistic roommate. It can sometimes do as much damage to us as a narcissistic partner because they're in our space. But needless to say, the person who wrote this, not the asshole. Thanks again.